By the end of August, Angola felt like it was holding its breath. The storm that had knocked out half the cameras for a night had come and gone, but the effects lingered. New work orders, new patrol routes, new rumors whispered in line and on bunks and in the shadow corners where men went to trade everything from cigarettes to secrets. For Cameron, it felt like something else was holding its breath too. His life. He thought the kiss in the hallway would calm something in him, a pressure, a hunger. Instead, it did the opposite. Now he knew what Malik's mouth tasted like when he wasn't pretending not to want it. Now he knew how it felt to be pressed to the wall, every inch of Malik saying yes without a word. There was no going back to pretending after that. Not with the river rising, not with Reese watching, not with Malik talking more and more like the escape wasn't just a fantasy, but a date they just hadn't circled on the calendar yet. The eggs were still gray. The sausage was still questionable. The coffee was still bitter. Some things didn't change. Cameron sat at the usual table with Malik on one side and Herb on the other. The older man ate with slow, deliberate bites, eyes scanning the room out of habit more than fear. "You talk to your daddy?" Malik asked under his breath, breaking his cornbread in half. "Yes," Cameron said. "I told him I wanted to be prepared in case an opportunity came up. He thinks I mean programs, classes, maybe parole hearings." Malik's mouth curved. Parole for a life sentence. That's cute. "He said he'd move what was left of the trust into an account I could access from here," Cameron went on. "Through the commissary system or a contact. I didn't push too hard on details. I didn't want to spook him. You get me a name and a way to reach him, I handle the rest," Malik said. "Cash can move, even when we can't." Herb snorted lightly. "Y'all talking about investment portfolios over there? Let me hold $5. "5?" Malik said. "Inflation, Herb. Gotta raise your rates." Herb shook his head, smiling faintly, then winced, hand going absently to his chest. The motion was small, but Cameron noticed. "You okay?" he asked. "Old man heart," Herb grunted. "Don't worry. I've been making it beat too long for it to quit on me over prison food." "Still," Cameron said, "we should file another request. You haven't heard back from the last sick call slip?" Herb's expression turned wry. "They answered. Said, if I ain't dead yet, I'm fine." Cameron's jaw tightened. "We'll write again. A grievance this time. Make a paper trail." Herb gave him a look that was equal parts fond and tired. "You just can't help yourself, can you?" he said. "Always got someone to rescue." Cameron opened his mouth to answer, but Malik nudged his elbow. "Don't look now," Malik murmured, "but you got a fan." Cameron didn't have to turn fully to know who he meant. Across the chow hall, Reese lounged at his usual table, laughing at something one of his crew said. Every few seconds, his gaze slid over, brushing past Cameron and Malik like a tongue over a chipped tooth he couldn't stop touching. "I hate that he knows my name," Cameron muttered. "That's what happens when you're pretty and you got opinions," Malik said. "Folk notice." "Don't call me pretty in prison," Cameron hissed. "It feels like a threat." Malik's smile tilted. "Ain't a threat, just a fact. Reese know it, I know it, you know it." Cameron looked down at his tray, heat pricking his neck. He wasn't used to being seen like this, outside of tailored clothes and curated smiles. Here, there was no polish. Just sweat and dirt and whatever light managed to squeeze in through the tiny windows. And still, when Malik looked at him like that, it felt like he was being put in the center of something instead of pushed to the edges. He was starting to want that more than he should. The laundry room in Angola was not glamorous. Industrial machines lined the walls, churning through endless cycles of uniforms and sheets and towels. The COs like to assign laundry duty to men they thought were steady. Less chance of a riot over socks than over food or shovels. Malik had gotten himself on the list last week. Trustworthy hands, he'd said, with a smirk when the assignment posted. They don't know I'm only half trustworthy. Today, Cameron stood at a folding table in the corner, stacking clean shirts into neat piles, as a fan rattled somewhere overhead. Malik worked across from him, sorting by size and security level, hands moving quick. Around them, 3 other inmates worked in their own pockets of space, heads mostly down. A CO leaned against the far doorway, half watching, half scrolling through his phone. "You see the memo?" one of the other men muttered. "Warden talking about reinforcing that levee wall before the next big system hits." "Already?" Malik asked, folding a pair of pants with one sharp flick. "We just sandbagged it last week." "Yeah, well," the man shrugged. "State don't want a headline that say, 'Prison flooded, inmates float down river.' Makes them look bad." Malik and Cameron traded a look. Reinforcing the wall meant fewer cracks, fewer weak points, fewer chances. "Timeline just got shorter," Malik said quietly, when the other man turned away. "How sure?" Cameron asked. "Depends how fast they move," Malik said. "Could be months, could be weeks, but the more they mess with that wall, the more eyes on it, harder to slip through." Cameron swallowed. "So, we need to move faster." "Yeah," Malik said. "Means less room for mistakes." As if summoned by the word mistake, the CO in the doorway straightened. "Hey!" He barked toward the far corner. "You two, break it up. Laundry room ain't social hour." 2 men near the dryers jumped apart, whatever quiet argument they'd been having dissolving into muttered apologies. The CO rolled his eyes and pushed off the doorframe. "I gotta take a leak," he announced. "Y'all know the rules. Don't be stupid while I'm gone." He disappeared down the hall, boots receding. The moment he was out of sight, the whole room's energy shifted a notch. Voices rose, just slightly. Shoulders loosened. Malik's eyes flicked to the camera mounted in the corner near the ceiling. A small red light that had gone out during the storm. It hadn't come back on. "Still dead," he murmured. "How long you think before they fix it?" Cameron asked. "Could be tomorrow. Could be never," Malik said. "They prioritize where they think the trouble is. Laundry don't rank." He stacked the last of the shirts, then stepped around the table, closing the small distance between them. The hum of machines and fan covered most sounds. The other men kept their focus on their own tasks. For a second, it felt like the world had narrowed down to this corner, this table, this moment. "You scared?" Malik asked quietly. "Yes," Cameron said, constantly. Malik's eyes softened. "Good. Means you're paying attention." "I'm also." Cameron hesitated. "Angry. All the time. At the judge? At my ex? At my father for getting tired? At you. Sometimes. At myself. Mostly." Malik nodded, leaning his hip against the table beside him. "Anger's just another kind of fuel," he said. "Same as fear. You decide whether it burn you up or light your way." He looked around once more, checking the other men, the doorway, the dead camera. Then he stepped closer. "You ain't the only one scared," Malik murmured. "You know that, right?" Cameron's pulse stuttered. "You?" Malik snorted softly. "You think I ain't? I've been here long enough to know exactly how wrong this can go. But I also know what it feel like to sit in this place year after year, watching that river roll by and do nothing." His gaze dropped to Cameron's mouth, then back up. "And I know," he added, voice roughening, "what it feel like to kiss you in a hallway with a CO 10 steps away. Pretty sure I ain't ever forgetting that either." Heat shot through Cameron. quick and sharp. "This is a terrible place to talk about kissing," he said, throat dry. "I ain't talking," Malik said. "I'm remembering." He reached out, fingers brushing the side of Cameron's hand where it rested on the table. Just a ghost of a touch, barely there. Cameron exhaled shakily. "We should be folding shirts." "We are folding shirts," Malik said. "Multitask, college boy." His hand slid over Cameron's, lacing their fingers for one stolen heartbeat before slipping away again, back to cotton and creases. No one else seemed to notice, or if they did, they looked away. Still, Cameron's skin buzzed like he'd been shot. That night, tension hung over the tier fitter than usual. Word of the levee reinforcement had spread. Men argued in low voices about what it meant. Some didn't care. Some did, but knew they'd never make it to any wall, cracked or not. For Cameron and Malik, it meant something else. A ticking clock. "We got maybe one good storm window left before they fix that section," Malik said, lying on his bunk with the map open on his chest. "We got to be ready when it hits." "And if it doesn't hit?" Cameron asked from the top bunk. "If this season passes and nothing lines up?" Malik shrugged. "Then we wait. Or we find another crack. Or we die old and bitter behind these bars." But we ain't there yet. He folded the map carefully, tucking it back into its hiding place. Silence settled. Not comfortable, not hostile, just heavy. "You mad at me?" Malik asked finally. Cameron blinked. "For what?" "For saying yes to this before I asked if you really understood what it meant," Malik said. "For making it sound like a story when it's really a gamble." Cameron thought about it. "I'm mad at you for acting like my life is your responsibility," he said. "Like if something goes wrong, it's all on you." "Well," Malik said, "that's dumb, because if something go wrong, it's on both of us. Equality." "Not funny," Cameron muttered, but his lips twitched. Malik shifted, the springs creaking. "Get down here," he said. Cameron froze. "What?" "I can't yell up at you all night," Malik said. "I'll lose my voice. Come sit." "You just like telling me where to go," Cameron said, but there was no real fight in it. He climbed down, feet bare on cool concrete, and sat on the lower bunk. This time, Malik was already leaning back against the wall, legs stretched out. There was barely enough room for both of them, but they made it work. Cameron's thigh pressed along Malik's. His shoulder brushed the wall. The cell felt smaller and bigger at the same time. "You ever think about what you'd be doing right now if none of this happened?" Malik asked suddenly. Cameron huffed. "Studying for the bar exam. Complaining about coffee instead of being grateful for it. Pretending I wasn't tired of being the only black face in a room full of future prosecutors." "And where you'd sleep?" Malik pressed. "In my own bed," Cameron said. "With my own sheets, my own pillows, my own space." His voice softened on the last word. Malik nodded slowly. "You ever think about who you'd sleep next to?" he asked. "If you let yourself." Cameron's throat went dry. "Yes," he said. "Sometimes." "You say that like it's a crime," Malik murmured. "In here, it kinda is," Cameron said. Malik turned his head, eyes holding his. "Out there, though," he said. "Out there? Maybe it ain't." Cameron swallowed. "Out there feels far." "Maybe," Malik said. "Maybe not as far as we think." His hand moved, fingers brushing against Cameron's knee. The touch was careful, almost hesitant, a question more than an answer. Cameron could have pulled away. He could have shifted, made a joke, diffused the moment. He didn't. He turned his hand palm up, letting Malik's fingers slide into his. The grip that followed was firm, warm, certain. "You really want to do this?" Malik asked quietly. "All of it. Not just the kiss in the storm part, the ugly part. The part where we might fail and they throw us in the hole for trying." "Yes," Cameron said. "I want all of it. And I want it with you." The words came out calm, steady, truer than anything he'd said in a long time. Something in Malik's face broke open for a second. Surprise, then fear, then something softer that looked dangerously like hope. "Right," he said, voice a little rough. "Then I gotta show you something before I drag you past the point of no return." He shifted, turning so they were facing each other fully on the cramped bunk. Knee to me, breath to breath. "What?" Cameron asked. Malik reached up, fingers grazing Cameron's jaw. His thumbs swept along the edge of his face. "How this feel?" he said. Then he kissed him. Not rushed, like in the hallway. Not all adrenaline and anger and thunder. This was slower, deeper. Malik's mouth moved against his, like he had all the time in the world, like he wanted to taste every part of this and memorize it. His hand slid around Cameron's neck, pulling him closer, angling his head just right. Cameron melted into it before he could think. His hands went to Malik's shoulders, fingers digging into warm muscle. The world narrowed down to lips and hands and heat, to the way Malik's tongue stroked his, to the quiet sounds he made in the back of his throat, the ones Cameron hadn't known he'd been starving to hear. The bunk creaked under them as they shifted, searching for better angles, deeper contact. Malik's legs slid between Cameron's. Cameron's knee brushed up along Malik's hip. Every point of contact lit up, a map all its own. They broke apart for breath, foreheads pressed together, chest heaving. "Cam," Malik whispered, his voice a rasp now. "You sure?" "You've asked me that 3 times, Cameron murmured, lips brushing his. "I've said yes 3 times. "I gotta be sure 300, Malik said, trying for a joke and almost getting there. "This ain't small. Nothing about you is small," Cameron said before his brain could censor his mouth. Malik froze, then laughed, a quiet, startled sound that broke into a groan when Cameron pulled him back in. The kiss turned hungrier. Malik's hand slipped under Cameron's shirt, palm sliding up warm skin, tracing the line of his spine. Cameron arched into the touch, breath catching. The feel of those callous fingers on his bare back, in this place, in this moment, it undid something in him. He'd been touched before, kissed, even loved, or something like it, but never like this. Never with the stakes this high, the walls this close, the future this uncertain. Never with someone who understood exactly what it meant to risk everything for one more stolen moment. Cameron's hands moved too, pushing Malik's shirt up, needing to feel skin. Malik was heat and muscle under his palms, every scar and line and curve proof of a life lived hard and survived anyway. "Cam," Malik said again, voice breaking on his name. "We gotta be quiet." "Then stop making me want to scream," Cameron whispered back, half laughing into his mouth. Malik swallowed the sound with another kiss, deeper this time, so deep Cameron saw stars behind his closed eyes. Outside, the tear hummed on. TV noise, low conversation, a distant shout from a guard. In their cell, on their narrow bunk, 2 men chased the edge of something that felt like both drowning and learning how to breathe for the first time. Clothes shifted, hands explored, reverent and hungry all at once. The line between we shouldn't and we already have blurred until it disappeared. Cameron didn't think about the appeals that had gone nowhere. He didn't think about Reese. He didn't think about levees and bayous and boats they hadn't found yet. He thought about Malik, about the way his mouth moved against his, the way his hands anchored him and set him free at the same time, the way he whispered baby once under his breath, like he didn't mean to let it slip out. The rest dissolved into heat and breath and the quiet rush of two people making a choice with their bodies that their mouths had only just begun to name. The lights had been out for hours. Most of the tier was finally quiet, except for the occasional cough, snore, or restless turn on a mattress. In their cell, the air was still warm with what had just happened. Clothing was mostly back where it belonged, small adjustments made in the dark, with awkward, sleepy hands. Cameron lay on his back on the lower bunk now, staring at the underside of his own old bed above them. Malik lay on his side next to him, their shoulders and hips pressed together in the narrow space. They shouldn't be like this. If a guard walked by and really looked in, it would be obvious. Too close, too intimate. Cameron knew all that. He didn't move anyway. "You good?" Malik asked softly, voice low and rough around the edges. Cameron exhaled, a slow, shaky breath. "Yes," he said. Yeah. That don't sound convincing," Malik murmured. "I'm just thinking," Cameron said. "Again?" Malik sighed. "You gonna think us right out of this moment?" Cameron turned his head, studying his profile. "Do you regret it?" he asked quietly. Malik's answer was immediate. "No," he said. "Not even a little." "You?" Cameron swallowed. "No." "Then we don't spend too long picking it apart," Malik said. "We know what it means. We knew before. Now we just know with more detail." Cameron huffed a small laugh. "That's one way to put it." They lay there until the laughter faded, replaced by a softer kind of quiet. "What if we don't make it?" Cameron asked after a while, voice slipping out before he could stop it. "To the river, to the bayou, to anywhere." Malik was silent for a moment. "Then we still had tonight," he said simply. "They can take a lot from us in here. They can't take that." "It doesn't feel like enough," Cameron said. "It's not," Malik agreed. "But it's something. And we ain't done yet." He shifted, turning onto his back, their arms brushing. "We move faster now," he said. "No more, maybe someday. The next big storm window they give us, we take it. We use your daddy's money to set up what we can on the outside. We get clothes, maybe a stash spot, some kind of contact closer to the Gulf." "And Reese?" Cameron asked. "We keep him off you as long as we can," Malik said. "If he pushed you hard, we push back. Nobody else gets to claim you." Cameron's heart flipped. "You sure you didn't regret anything?" he asked, trying to tease, but landing closer to vulnerable. "I regret we waited this long," Malik said. "But maybe we needed the wait. Make sure this ain't just I'm lonely in a cell and you the only body around." "And?" Cameron pressed, needing the words, even though he knew the answer. "And it ain't that," Malik said. "Not for me." Cameron stared up at the bunk slats above them, eyes burning. "Not for me either," he said softly. Footsteps echoed faintly down the tier. A guard making rounds. They froze, bodies going still but not separating. The shadow passed by their bars. A flashlight beam skimmed the floor, the walls, the shape of two men lying closer than they should be. Then it moved on. Cameron let out a breath he hadn't realized he'd been holding. "We're going to get caught," he whispered. "Not if we smart," Malik whispered back. We pick our moments. We stay sharp. We remember there's more at stake than just getting one more night like this. He turned his head, eyes catching Cameron's in the dark. You worth the risk, he said quietly. But I'm greedy. I want you free and breathing, not just reckless and pretty in my arms. Cameron's chest squeezed. You're pretty too, you know, he said. Malik snorted. Yeah, a regular centerfold. Go to sleep, Baptiste. Cameron smiled into the dark. Good night, Malik, he said. Night, Cam. Outside, somewhere beyond the walls and fences and towers, the Mississippi rolled on, swollen from distant rains, pressing against levees and searching for cracks. Inside, on Tier C, in a narrow bed built for one, two men lay shoulder to shoulder, plans and bodies tangled together. The river would ask its price soon enough. They had paid part of it tonight. The rest was coming.